U.S. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins. First of all, happy Independence Day, Mr. Secretary. Good to see you.
Happy 4th to you. It's glad to be here.
So you lead the Department of Veteran Affairs, right? And you oversee the health care of our vets, their benefits, as well as, developing and implementing VA policy. So what would your message be? What would you want to share with Americans across the country today who have served and their families?
Well, I think the biggest thing today on the 4th of July, there would not be any birthday candles on the cake if it hadn't been for veterans. Those who are willing to raise their right hand and do what the country asked them to do, sacrifice themselves, their life, their time, their honor, all to go out and protect this country, to start this country 250 years ago, to say, we want to live in a place of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So I think the best thing that we can think of today is all the freedoms we enjoy, all the fireworks, all the parades, all the, food and ice cream you eat, goes because somebody raised their right hand and said, I'm willing to go defend and to start a country that is built on the freedom of men, the liberty of men, and the pursuit of happiness.
Well said. I wish they would teach that real history in our schools, but we'll get back to that one day. Independence Day celebrates our nation's freedom, right? But as you were saying, freedom isn't free. They had to raise their hands, and we won it on the battlefield by American soldiers. You served our country. How does that experience kind of influence your leadership at the VA?
Well, I think it just sort of envelops everything I have. That being a veteran, being someone who served in the Air Force and the Navy, and taking this step now to being able to have the honor of taking care of them after they get out as well. It just it reminds me of the different sacrifices that we go through as a country, but it also makes me very proud of this country. It makes me know that we're taking care of those who took care of us. And look, we have a very large organization, and there's a lot to go on, and sometimes it doesn't all go the way you want it to, but we're always making the move in the direction that needs to happen. That means taking care of our veterans first. So as we look at this day and think about it, how we actually take care of those who've, really taken care of us, is a reflection of us as a country. It's a reflection of what 250 years ago, the founders had a dream of having a country in which we could, be free of tyranny, free of the despotism, free of the government tyranny, and have a freedom in which you could become and do anything you want to do. This North Georgia boy is now sitting in the cabinet of the United States of America after serving his country and also being a member of Congress. I wouldn't have dreamed that in 1976, 50 years ago. And look what's happened now. I watched fireworks back then. I watch them now, but with a glow of even more respect for what this country can offer.
So, we know our vets struggle, right, with mental and physical ailments after they serve, especially if they saw, they dealt with combat. Many veterans are concerned about disability processing times, or a spouse might be dealing with bureaucracy for survivor benefits. What progress has been made, and what, it's a vast bureaucracy, so it's not easy, but how do you streamline it? How do you make it easier for them so they're not frustrated?
Well, that's been what we've been working on for a year and a half now, and with great success. Our VBA doing disability claims, we went from over 260,000 to now about mid-60s, literally like 64,
Wow.
65,000. In just over a year and a half, we've dropped the wait time from 138 days to 77 days. That's getting the decision faster and quicker to these veterans, so they know what they've earned and know what this is expected, that we're expected to give and for what they've earned. It also is taking and making sure that we're going through the dependency, cutting through the layers of bureaucracy, but also making it easier on the front end. One of the projects we're working on right now and getting closer to completion on is taking a rather voluminous 18-plus page application process and drawing it down to 4 pages, where anybody can look at it, anybody can see it, and they don't have to worry about having, thinking they can't do it. If a veteran is served, the veteran gets the benefits, and they have an easy way to apply for what they've already earned.
Tell us about the president. You've been with him, in private, at events for veterans and military. What are some of the things he says, when the cameras aren't rolling? What are some of the things he says and does that we should know about?
I think what you need to know is a lot of times he meets with veterans and he meets with those who served and those who are currently serving away from the press. There's a lot of times that he will meet with them privately. I've been in with him in which we have events for them in which we don't have press involved. And it's in those moments you can see his deep love for this country, his deep love for the ones that he is commander-in-chief of. He recognizes the great responsibility of sending someone to war, and he also recognized the great responsibility that he would only do that with a clear vision in mind of what he wants to accomplish. And I think I was with some troops just the other day, and they understand that. They know that they're not just being used in a way that is not worthy of their sacrifice. The president talks to them as he would talk to anybody, and with great respect. And you see that in his face. You see that in what he says, and also how the veterans respond. They can tell the genuine affection that he has for our troops.
So, final thoughts here. Obviously, if we see a veteran today, we should thank them any day. Obviously, give them a hug or whatever. But what are some other ways that Americans can kind of show their appreciation on Independence Day, but also with our veterans?
I think overall is be proud of our country. I mean, this is the thing that bothers me so many times now, and I've heard it there. I'm not proud of our country. I'm not proud of this. We're on the 4th of July, in which 250 years of an experiment that nobody thought would work is now the beaming light of this world. Can you imagine where the world would be without America? So for anybody who is down today, anybody who's saying that they're not happy about the birthday, or they're not happy about the 4th of July, not proud of the United States, then just think about that. You actually have the privilege of living in a country that allows you to think that kind of thought, allows you to be contrary, and when you've been given every opportunity to succeed. This country is a great shining light to the world. That's why people want to come here. That's why people come in droves here. And again, I think sometimes, frankly, as Americans, we forget what we have. And I just want to say, remember what you have today. Remember the goodness of this country, that even when we make mistakes, we get better. And I think that's what I would rather have people focused on than the minute-to-minute minutia of politics. Think about the great country that these founders have given to us.
That's right. And you know what? Please just salute the flag. Put your hand over your heart. I mean, we got to get back to the basics, too, of what made this country so great. We all loved it. And now there's part of this country trying to tear it apart and tear it down. And we can't let that happen. Mr. Secretary, enjoy the fireworks. Don't light any off on your own. And, just be careful.
We'll do that. Take care.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.